the reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars uh, to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And
ladies and gents, welcome back. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in. And if you're new here, my name is Clyde. The subscribe button is just down below. Welcome to the channel. Let's get right into this. Elon Musk has made a huge prediction. He made a huge prediction during the last election. He said that if Donald Trump does not win this election, there will be no more elections in the United States. It'll be a one-party rule, and that's because of what people coined the Great Replacement Theory. Now, the Great Replacement Theory isn't what the Democrats say it is. It's what a lot of just realistic people have been saying. If you keep importing voters, you're going to have a replacement of the voter demographic. That's right. And that's what it's really been all about. In fact, Elon Musk is still warning about this even today. He was just recently on Joe Rogan, and this is what he had to say here.
In a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
and the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy,
Yes.
as they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
Yes, as they try to destroy democracy by importing more voters in to vote against the will of the American people. Now, we've seen efforts in the opposite direction. Governor Greg Abbott in Texas banning non-citizens from voting in all elections after passing a constitutional amendment, and this was unanimous. The people wanted this passed. They're absolutely in favor of this, because why would Americans want foreigners coming into America to vote in the elections? Well, some Americans would like that if they knew that the American population was not going to vote for their party. And this is what it really comes down to. Now, this is in Texas. Voters overwhelmingly approved an amendment on Tuesday that adds non-citizens to the list of individuals prohibited from voting in the state elections, reinforcing that only U.S. citizens are eligible to cast ballots. Now, why would you want this, and why would other states try to do other things? Well, it would just look at what's happening in California. Now, a lot of the gerrymandering is being undone across the United States. So California has brought forward under Gavin Newsom this idea of the Prop 50 to allow Democrats to wipe out GOP congressional seats, to come in and make more congressional seats based on basically just the census alone. It's crazy. We're going to get into that, and Elon Musk gets into that specifically. But before we do that, on Tuesday night, California voters approved Prop 50, a sweeping ballot initiative that could reshape the political landscape heading into next year's fight for control of the U.S. House of Representatives. That's right. They're not about democracy in the Democrat Party. They're about fixing the game so that they can come in and rule the roost. This is absolutely what's going on here. The governor framed Prop 50 as a necessary countermeasurement to GOP redistricting efforts in Republican-led states such as Texas. Now, were they redistricting measures, or were they districting measures that made more sense? Now, the idea was that gerrymandering had been going on for a very, very long time, where they would carve out these new districts that would work so that you could get more votes in one particular way. Instead, they said, no, these are geographical blocks. They belong together. You don't make these weird gerrymandered areas. So they were undoing the redistricting of previous years that the Democrats had put in, where lawmakers recently approved maps that could yield 5 new right-leaning House seats. Well, that would just be because of the demographics of that state. Unfortunately, Gavin Newsom has found a new method of doing this, and Joe Rogan and Elon Musk were talking all about it just the other day.
And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy. So
I'm sure you're paying attention to this Proposition 50 thing.
no,
That's the thing in California where they're trying to redo districts.
Oh yeah. Because I mean, California's already gerrymandered like crazy.
Yeah.
They want to gerrymander it even more. And I mean,
because it keeps moving further and further right. Like if you look at the map of California, each voting cycle, more and more people are waking up and going, "What the fuck?" And we need to do something to fix this. The only option available, other than the policies that you guys have always done, is go right. And so a lot of people have been air quotes red pilled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then here's another thing that is very important. Fact that is actually not disputed by either side, which is that when we do the census in the United States, the way the census works for apportionment of congressional seats and electoral college votes for the president is by number of persons in a state, not number of citizens.
Right.
It's number of people. So you could literally be a tourist, and you will count.
Now, how do they do the census when they do that? Do they ask people? Do they knock on doors? Do they have them fill out forms? Like what?
Yeah, I think they mail out the census forms and knock on doors. But the way the law reads right now, is that if you are a human with a pulse, then you count in the census for allocating congressional seats and presidential votes.
Right.
So, so
electoral college,
everything.
Congressional seats, everything.
It doesn't matter whether you're here legally, illegally, and if you're a human with a pulse, you count for congressional apportionment. So that means that the more illegals that California and New York can import by the time the census happens in 2030, the more congressional seats they will have. And the more presidential electoral college votes they will have. So they're trying to get as many illegals in as possible ahead of the census. And because all human beings, even tourists, count for the census. And then if you combine that with gerrymandering of districts in New York and California, as you point out with this proposition where they're trying to increase the amount of gerrymandering that occurs in California, the biggest state in the country. So if the census then would award more congressional seats to California because of a vast number of illegals, and New York and Illinois, so they'll get more congressional seats. They'll get more presidential electoral college votes, that would get them the House, a majority in the House, and they would get to decide who is president, literally based on illegals. These are not disputed facts by either party. I want to emphasize that sink in.
Yeah, this is not a conspiracy.
These are not disputed facts by either party. It's not a. This is just the way the law works. It is a. I don't think the law should work that way. I think the apportionment should be proportionate to citizens.
And this is why it's so important. It's so important that this battle that's happening with the shutdown is happening right now, because what they're doing is, and Elon Musk alluded to this earlier, was the idea that if there's no incentives, i.e., if there's no free healthcare, if there's no freebies and free education for their kids and all this other stuff, no handouts for illegals that come into the country, they stop coming. They stop coming, and in fact, a lot of them will turn around and go back where they came from because there's nothing there to get. And this is the realization that people are having right now, and this is why this battle in the government with the government shutdown is so important. This is why Trump has not backed down, and this is why the Democrats are not backing down on this one. They see that the fate of the next election lies on whether or not they're able to bring in these illegal immigrants, have them keep coming in, and vote in blue states to basically end democracy as we know it. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. And of course, we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.